Okay, I turned it on. Are you ready, Andrea?
Yes, and I guess the first things we're gonna have, oh, it's being recorded. Okay.
Yeah, the recording's on.
Okay, we will call the Stewardship Committee meeting to order for December 12th, 2024. And in the room, we have Tom Dillon and Mike Kelso and Molly Taylor and Mark Pope from the Stewardship Committee. We have Evan Clapper from the Grand County Commission, myself, Andrea Brand, Director, and Matt Olding via Zoom. And I think I have everyone, and we're starting at 3:07. So first order of business is approval of the minutes. We have two sets of minutes because we have the September meeting, and we also have our special meeting that we held on the e-bikes. So so I only made a few sets of those.
Do we have the September one?
Yeah, I might.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Here's
the September.
I would move to approve the September 12th, 2024 minutes and the October 28th, 2024 minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, so Evan made a motion and Mike seconded. And is there any discussion? Any needed edits? Okay, then we'll go ahead and vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Votes in favor. All right. So Matt, the first thing will be, let's just look at our graph, I guess, remit sheet.
This one?
Yes.
Is this for my clarification, the fee change went in the beginning of 2024, is that
No, August 23,
August 23.
mid-August 23.
correct? Okay,
So, yeah, so we are up 7% over 2023. And I don't have the visitor thing here for you, but I did figure it out. We're up about 4% in visitation, and really that would just be 3% because of the fee change, but we're up 7% overall.
And that's without December numbers?
Yes, without December numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no December included yet. I mean, December doesn't have that much mainly, but you can see last year at 13,000, and mainly that's people making reservations on rec.gov for next year. Is what most of that coming in is. So
so the second half of the year, numbers were very comparable to last year
yeah.
with the same fee structure.
Yes, and well, we were up, remember we were up 14% when we met in September, but that was looking through August numbers. And then, we had a very warm, well, we're kind of guessing here, but we had a warm September. As far as I understand, it was still great to be in the mountains in Colorado and northern Utah, and we just didn't, we're just down a little bit.
Yeah.
And for September, and then October, we're down just a tiny bit over last year. So yeah, and then November we're just $1,000 difference, and then October we're
Do you have a fifth shade of blue that you can use?
yeah, maybe I should. I think the printer's starting to go a little bit there. It doesn't look, it looks a little better up there. Look at it up there. I think you can see things better. Oh, a fifth shade of blue. Yeah, can I pick the colors? It just automatically does it. There's probably a way for me to pick the colors though. Yeah, it is getting a little harder to read, isn't it? Yeah, okay, I'll work on that for next year. I'll work on that. Okay.
Would that be a budget item?
No, I don't need any extra for that.
More toner for the printer.
Yeah, it would be a budget item. Exactly. But up there, it still looks a little hard up there though, those different blues. So, and then we can go to the balance sheet next. And did I grab the right one? Yes. So, Yeah, if you can zoom in on this one. So I think I told you in the email that the amount was wrong in the cash and combined cash fund after meeting with Gabriel in the clerk's office. And so we carried over closer to, what did I tell you in my email?
600.
Yeah, 614,000, I think, was carried over. And then we also, I just found out in that meeting that we have about 62,486 in interest that I didn't even know about because they've
Wow.
kept it separate. So that was good to, he said, oh, we're letting all the departments know that. That's what Gabe and Steven said. And then, so that isn't reflected here yet. I just wrote it in on the second page for interest. And that's in a separate account, I guess. I mean, well, no, here it is. You can see the interest.
Yeah.
It shows unearned, but we actually are at 62,486 as of Monday.
Yeah.
And then whatever we bring in over what we spend. So right now, we spent 721,731, and we brought in 730. But we'll see, we may end up spending a little more than we bring in, but that's not, then we'll dip into the fund balance a little bit. We have to.
You said, our salaries, do you tend to be understaffed at some point on average for the year?
Well, we go down to, we don't have any seasonals working in the summer, or just maybe they'll be filling in a little bit, and then in the winter, it's the same thing. So they really only work, the highest they work in hours is 1,080 hours, although, well, they could work up to 1,200, but usually they're under the 1080.
Because it's one of the larger line items,
Yeah.
and it was underspent by 100,000.
They have been, I talked about this last time, you might remember. They have been over allocating what they think we're gonna spend because they were calculating it, thinking that all of my seasonals were gonna work the higher amount. And some of them only work, like Matt works maybe 540, if that. And a lot of them just work 2 or 3 days a week.
Does that tend to happen every year?
I only usually have about 2 of them that work the 1080. And then the other 3 to 4 people will work, because they have other jobs.
Yeah.
So they'll just work 2 or 3 days for me, 1 to 3 days for me, I would say.
Like me.
Like Matt, 6 hours a week, 6 months of the year, unless he's in Europe or something.
6 hours a week.
Yeah, he just comes in Thursday afternoon and does patrols or goes in the booth a little bit, so. And then he helps with this, and he helps with other things like our YouTube channel and stuff, so, yeah. So, other questions, let's see, where are we with, on the first page, so yeah, so what happens is this cash fund, he was only updating it like once a year. So he said that he's gonna do his best now. It's either gonna be Steven or Gabe that will do it and update it. I said, if it was quarterly, that would be awesome. So I said, that's really what I need is quarterly. Because first they said, well, I think we could do it once a month. I said, well, that'd be even better. But I said, if you could just do it quarterly, that's all I really need. And then on the next page, you can see the fees and what's come in. That fees online, that's rec.gov, remember? So that's just for the group sites. And then the interest, he's telling me it's 62,486 right now, so it's not, that's not added in right there. And then we could go to the back sheet of expenditures.
Just on that
Oh,
page,
yes,
why don't we
go ahead.
want our budget to match our,
You mean the interest? What?
no, just looking at this long, why don't we want our budget more to be on that?
Well, that would have been nice, but
Okay.
again, I feel like the clerk's office in the last few years, well, now it's changing again because we have
Yeah.
Steve Bowles in there.
Right.
So, but probably the 3 years, going back 3 years, I felt like when Chris Baird was here, he was sometimes overestimating what we would bring in
Right.
and overestimating what we would spend on wages.
Okay.
I don't know
Right,
why.
but are we gonna try to,
Always better
Bring-
than over.
Oh, yes,
Than under.
well, we've got it more accurate for next
Okay,
year,
all right,
on 2025
all right.
budget.
yeah, just throwing that.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's, I used to give them, I mean, I still calculate it, I still have a spreadsheet, and I used to turn that in. But now they have HR calculate, I guess I shouldn't say it was just Chris Baird, it was Renee Baker. So it was HR calculating the wages, and Chris Baird was coming up with what he thought we would bring in. And so those were where the numbers were coming from instead of me
Okay.
for a few years. So. Okay, so expenditures. Let's see what is over that I should, I mean, obviously, we're over for the overall budget, so we're fine. Going down the list here, you can see vehicle maintenance is up some, and that's because we bought new tires for one of the trucks. What else is up? You might remember contract professional services up. We talked about that last time, and that's because of the videos. The night sky video and paying for the videos on Channel 6 TV. Uniforms is up a little bit. I bought everybody the sun hoodies this fall. Seems like everybody's got them now, so people wanted them. I went,
They're a trend.
yeah, let's get them. Well, they like them, so. Insurance is up a little bit, and that's because I dove into that and found out surprisingly that the contents in our sheds were very underinsured. So now they're more accurate. So it brought it up a little bit, but I think our big shed was only insured for like $3,000, and we want to make sure all of our brochures are covered in there if there was a fire or something. Inventory, I think these was remember because we got that really high-tech camera at the booth. I think I split it between those two accounts, office equipment and inventory. And then the training, the staff training was up because we found out about more training opportunities this year. And we had the 4x4 training for the staff, and then I did go up to Vernal for that week-long conference up there. Trail conference, Western Trail Conference. So those are the only things that are up, but again, overall, we're gonna be under budget in our expenditures because we didn't build any, we didn't get the raise grant. And then, Matt, we could go to did you get it off your email or you want me to go to mine? I have it.
I got it.
Okay. So this is from the clerk's office. And it doesn't have page numbers on it, but the top part is not Sam Flats, you have to go down. And the top of the page will say 56, that's another department, just scroll down to the middle to 70.
Okay.
If you've got the right page.
I do.
Yeah, so that's where Sam Flats starts, because this is all of the departments in the whole county. So on here, okay, so here we did bring it down when I met with Steve back in August.
Matt's lost, but he'll find it.
Oh,
It's
oh,
like,
page 52.
2. This is it then.
Yep. Yeah, go back up. Go back. Actually, 51. Sorry.
it's right after.
Middle of the page. Yeah, go down a little bit.
There it is, right at the bottom of that page. Keep going.
No, he's on it. He's on
Oh,
it.
okay.
You were on
Right
it.
there. 4270 Sam Flats.
Yep.
Great, you got it.
Perfect. So, okay, Sam Flats fees. This is predicting we're gonna bring in 833,000. And that's what my prediction back in August with Steven. But, where are we at now?
But the
You had 13,000 to
Yeah.
our 779.
2023 was 706. Oh, but 2023.
Yeah, 2024, 77, and
670.
then,
That's a
Yeah,
big
December.
difference
13,
than saying you're gonna get that.
795 basically.
800, yeah. So
So,
almost 800,000.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be closer to 800,000 because at that time we were thinking we might continue that 14% through the fall, I guess, through the end of the year, but we didn't.
yeah, so maybe the 25 proposed budget should be down a little on that.
What does it have it now?
833.
Yeah, we left it, well, that'll be for next year. We are raising we did raise the group sites, that should bring in another 20,000. The group sites.
Right. But 2023 was actually 670. 489.
No, but we're gonna bring in closer to 800,000 this year.
Okay.
We should. So, and then with the $20,000 increase in the group sites, minimum, we think. So I think it's okay.
Yeah,
to
for the
leave it at
ballpark.
that. We're in the, yeah, I mean, maybe we hope we have a little bit of growth. We've never, I mean, the only time we were really going down was COVID. So we haven't really we had a negative back in 2012. Don't remember why. But that's the only time we had less other than COVID. So then, so you can see kind of toward the bottom of the page, salaries, it's estimated that we'll only spend 400,000, which I think we're gonna be under that. We'll be under that, because right now we're at
347.
347, we only have one more month, not even a month, so we're not gonna spend that. Is she on the right side? Yeah, so at the bottom, yeah, he's got it right into the bottom corner. Yep, that's it, Matt, thank you. So saying that we're gonna spend 400,000, but we won't, and 200,000 in benefits. It's gonna be less too, because right now we're at 167,000. 157, 67,000. So won't spend what is projected. So that's good. It'll carry over to next year. So on the other side, let's see, it's really what we went down last time. You folks had wanted the changes that you guys had talked about was, remember the contract professional, we put that at 20,000 after our, discussion. We put the search and rescue down to 10,000, so that's reflected here. I'm looking at the far right corner, I'm sorry, proposed budget 2025. So there's really nothing different than what we talked about at our last meeting.
But it's up to 1,235,000.
Yeah, it's got the capital improvements in there.
Yeah, it's got the capital improvements, which again, well, I'll talk about the race grant in a little while. So that's what that is slated
Okay.
for mostly. Okay. So, any questions?
It's good.
Okay, well, we can go on to my next thing. I guess we're ready for the PowerPoint. Yeah, Matt, we can go to the PowerPoint, please. Okay, so Jennifer, put you on the spot.
Yeah, you bet. I
When am
was
I
ready for
supposed-
this one.
When am I supposed to
So-
apply?
So there is no funding, first and foremost.
Right, they know that from last time.
Yeah, and I see that it's not accounted for here budget-wise for the youth grant. Is that what we're talking about?
Mhm.
So in terms of application process, I just got an email today and visited with Dave Powles, the field manager, asking about it.
Uh-huh,
BLM, in my time, have never seen this type of a budget crunch, shortfall, non-existent tightness. So unfortunately, I don't have great news for you there. I think what we can continue to do is not necessarily youth grant oriented, but find ways that we can partner in terms of materials, supplies, labor, project specific stuff. To
okay,
continue to support you, our partner, support one another in the great work that you do, you collectively, the team up on Sand Flats. So I think we just need to do some brainstorming and figure out what those things are so that you feel more than supported. I mean, obviously, day-to-day operations, conversations, NEPA work, clearance work, Lee
Yeah.
and Force Account and engineering, that's all part of our partnership.
Yeah,
But figuring out ways to admit that we are not able to do this particular function any longer.
because I know that was something that, I remember years back, you guys were like, we're not able to do this, so we're really happy that, that we can do it with your money. We can hire the intern and the apprentices and stuff. Because at that time, you didn't have a way to do that.
And now it's even worse, we just plain don't have money. So we do have labor. We can partner on grants too, like if there's, I think we just need to brainstorm a little bit in
Okay.
terms of projects and literally look like 3 to 5 years out of what we wanna do, how we can support it NEPA wise. Obviously, the trail work is, Trail Mix, Green County, we highly value the partnership. Definitely want you to feel that. And just this particular mechanism is not functional at this point in time.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
that's fine. We have been, mainly where this money would go is when we hired an intern.
Right. And
So
definitely
we're still-
support youth and interns and all of that. So could we play a shell game somehow?
Well, we'll have the,
Above the board shell game, of course,
Yeah.
right? But like, we partner on these projects and are there other opportunities through, your collected revenue to put into that intern? I don't know, those are questions for you, but I
okay,
think a brainstorm session would be in order.
okay, that sounds good.
And I did, the email that I got today, actually, they being BLM Utah is looking to put together a notice of funding opportunity or NOFO for assistance agreements, but specifically no youth. So it's just challenging times right now. And what I keep hearing is, let's just get through December 20th, right? I'm guessing there'll be additional continuing resolution opportunities moving forward, but I just don't know. I don't have a crystal ball.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to, know if I should be putting in by some deadline, but apparently not, so.
Unfortunately not.
So, okay, so follow up on the e-bike letter, it went, right, Evan? It went along with the other letter from the county commission, so it wasn't, it was included. Because there was some concern that maybe it would be part of like this big letter, which it was, but then our letter was there as well.
Yeah.
To the BLM.
And as far as that project, we are all busily, diligently working to parse the comments from the public scoping. And that's
Okay.
all I have at this point in time. We're hoping to get through that by approximately the middle of January. Just over 1,000 comments, a lot.
That's a lot.
And where does that, is that decision more local or is it state
So
or fed?
it's not a decision at
Okay.
all, this was just public scoping, and so we need to get through those comments and see where we go from that point. It's totally pre-decisional at this point.
Yeah,
It would be a local decision in theory,
just in terms of like which trails might be used in the,
well, there'd be a draft environmental assessment first, yeah,
Okay.
and it would have alternatives. That being said, the Moab Field Office are obviously in close communications with the Salt Lake State Office and the headquarters office, which our base is in Grand Junction now, so pretty close. So they're well aware of what's going on. And, grateful that we had people that contributed their thoughts, because that was truly what it is public scoping rather than putting out a draft EA with alternatives that may or not be on point. So really appreciate the diligent thought and effort that's gone in from a lot of folks. Obviously, this committee as well.
Yeah, no, it was great how, Motorized Trail Committee and Trail Mix and us, you have all that and then all the public. And I don't know if there's other committees that, I'm sure there's other groups that weighed in. Okay, so the raise grant. So I had the debrief. This is last year's up there, so you don't even, well, whatever. So I had the debrief meeting yesterday with Bill Jackson and Dan Stenta and myself, and then this gentleman, Logan, in Washington, DC, and that had reviewed the applications. And so we still were highly recommended, but we were in a different level, a lower level than we were last time. So it didn't make it to the secretary, I guess. Before it made it to some secretary at, what is it called? DOT, Department of Transportation. And then we were, in the top 4 in Utah, and they chose 2. So that was in 2023. So now we did not make it to that level, even though we're highly recommended. So 7 out of the 8 were highly recommended, but we're at this lower level. And I did talk to them about, well, what if we scaled it back and made it a shorter distance and didn't have a separated path, just had bike lanes, and, looked for other funding for a separated path. And Bill and Dan really wanted to keep it the way it was. And for some reason, they didn't think that was a factor. But I mean, even the person that Logan didn't think it was a factor either.
Did you get a sense of what was a factor?
Yeah, he told me that it was kind of like little things. Well, one was environmental impact to not doing it. And remember in our last meeting, we talked about, Katie had told us about this USGS dust study. So they thought that would be a really good thing to add to it. And that would help bring that environmental impact up if it can show, oh, it's impacting these our community and visitors and that community. So I haven't gotten a hold of the person over there yet, but I will, hopefully tomorrow, and get that ball rolling, because the deadline is January 30th this time and not February 28th. Just found that out yesterday as well.
Good to know.
Yeah, good to know. I mean, we were asking for our ratings sheet to be sent to us since August. We were supposed to get it in August. And then he told me, so yesterday, we still don't have a rating sheet. He says, you didn't reach the level that we send out a rating sheet. We only send out the rating sheets to groups that reach this merit level. And so we reached that merit level of secretary looking at it last time, but not this time. It's still confusing to me. How can we still be 7 out of 8, but we're at a lower level?
But that's out of the statewide applicants? Is that, because it's only so many projects per state.
Yeah, they can only do 2 in a state, so it's
like
hard.
if 2 just outshined out of the gate, would they just kind of stop there, do you think?
Well, okay, so here it's even more complicated. Okay, so they picked, oh shoot, where are my numbers? Anyway, I have them on my desk somewhere. I should have brought them in here. Wait a minute. Anyone break? I'm so sorry. I think I have them in this one folder.
Open a can of worms.
Well, I guess what we would get down to is what can we add to help her change it for January?
I got
Of
it,
the
I got it.
new
It's a mess.
raise grant.
I have it. Okay, so they had 1,040 applicants, 477 advanced to the level that we advanced to.
That's less than
Of these,
a third.
yeah, of these, 360 were highly rated, and 212, that's too many, must have a number off here. Oh, I guess 360 were highly rated, and of these, 212 were at the secretary level, and then 148 were awarded. And
So it's probably just the competitiveness of
it's
it.
a competitiveness.
It's not so much that our application changed, there was just.
Right, competitiveness is a big factor.
Yeah.
And then the other factor was just that, we were a little bit, I guess we didn't explain that when the NEPA, when the NEPA would be completed by, which I didn't think we did explain that. But I didn't have the actual application in front of me when he was talking, which I should have, but
Was our application significantly different this time than last?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
But we don't have a NEPA attached to the application.
no, I mean, I had a letter in there saying the BLM was going to do the NEPA, it was a letter from the BLM. And then we explained the dates, we filled out the charts that explained the dates. So that question was that thing that they said was a little strange to me. The date for the cost estimate wasn't represented. So they wanted to know if we were talking about 2024 prices or if it had been inflated to further on. And I said, well, I think they put a good cushion, because you wouldn't be able to build this. If you got it this year, you're not gonna have it done until 2028 or 2030, I think. So, but I guess that wasn't clear to the people looking at it. Those were small things, he said. Financial, what level of design was missing? They didn't understand what level of design would be. It would we would be completing the process, the whole project. So what do you mean, what level of design? I don't know. Dan took notes too, so hopefully.
Does our application talk about?
I asked him if he could send me what he told us in an email. He said, no, we don't do that. So I was like, oh, I just came out of my husband's procedure at the hospital and I'm like writing notes. And I said, can't you send me a follow-up email? He's like, no. I was like, great.
Isn't there
But I can call him again.
Isn't
So
there a
I might.
video of the evaluation? Oh, some grants have that.
No, they just sit there, I guess, a
Okay.
room of people and go through them.
Was Dan involved in this application or was it just
Yeah.
you and Bill?
Well, Dan, look, I might do that. It wants to update, make me, oh crap. No, it's been doing that for like 3 days. It was Jones in the Middle
Uh-huh,
and myself doing most of the writing.
okay.
And, well, the survey, the woman from the planning department that left, Martin, Elisa,
Yeah,
she was great. She's the one that really, her and I,
yeah.
the survey, but she really made it really good.
Well, it sounds like if we want to reapply, you have to put in some NEPA dates and just say they're
Yeah, I think those things.
happening.
Oh, I know the other
Be
big
really
one.
clear.
I think we just need to, I don't know
Yeah.
how much clearer we can be, but we had a whole section that talked, I know what the other thing was. We did not show that we had been involved in government grants before. We had a whole paragraph on that.
Right.
Bill Jackson had his FLAP grant, I had the RTP grants, I think Bill had more than one. Like, did they read it? I mean,
Didn't sound like it.
it doesn't sound like it, because those 3 things we had, the only one that, the 4th thing, said there was 4 things, it was that our environmental sustainability rated medium, we needed more data-driven data, tied into their rubric in their NOFO, to show the negative impacts on the community. So, he said the USGS dust survey seemed like a good thing. So we'll put that in there. And we'll make sure that we're really obvious in the fact that we've worked with, gotten government grants before in Grand County. He's like, it doesn't look like Grand County's gotten many government grants. Like, really? That's what you're,
You'd think that would help it, not hurt it. You'd think less grants, you'd give them more grants.
I assume the application speaks to the number of people that are impacted that use the.
we talked about 250,000 visitors to the area that are breathing in the
There's
dust.
a lot of information, I'm sure, in the application, but if I'm reviewing these things, I'm trying to decide who's gonna get the money and also think about how many people are impacted by it. I assume that would be in the
It
application.
is, yeah. Those 3 things, other than the dust survey, are in there. I guess we just have to think about a way to make them more obvious to them.
Yeah.
But the differences between the grants applications, these last two was, it was 12 million left the first time. And this time, when we rated so high, it was 20 million this time. So
Okay.
it's a big jump. It's a separated path along the whole road instead of bike lanes. And then prices have gone up, I guess, and Dan Stenta was looking at it and he realized that if we don't show, so if we end up spending 22 million instead of 20 million to build it, the county has to find that 2 million. So I think that's why they put a really good contingency on there. And plus you're trying to project 2 to 4 years out
Yeah.
for construction. So it's hard. So I guess, they had this question about, well, is your cost estimate at 2024 prices or well, we don't know what 2028 prices are.
Yeah, so just go, just make it clear
Yeah.
what price point you're at.
Yeah, did we price ourselves out of it?
And that's up to them.
Yeah, well, I think we priced ourselves out of it because I asked him that and he didn't really have an answer for me, but the two that were chosen in Utah, one was 6 million and one was 9 million.
Uh-huh. See, that could do
So
it.
that's 15 million
Yeah.
for 2 projects and they have to give 2 to each state.
Hmm.
So that put us right out there. If they're like, oh, we have less than 20 million for the whole state, we're not gonna give it, we have to do 2,
Yeah.
so we can't give it to them.
Yeah, good point.
I asked him that and he didn't say that I was right in that
Well,
assumption.
scale it back to
but-
a smaller, yeah.
So that's
scale
why I
back
think
to-
it should
yeah,
be shorter,
Yeah,
like to Falcon Flow, and it
Right.
should just have the bike paths. We could get other
Sure.
lanes. We could
Yeah.
get
That's
other
what I
money
said.
for paths.
there, do that.
Yeah, you think about, the bike lane would be wonderful. I mean, when I think about Zion, having that sidewalk that goes almost all the way up to the junction and you're not inconveniencing another vehicle. But that's a different situation. Here, if you simply had the bike path, especially since we have the wrap route,
Yeah.
You just had the bike
lane, you mean?
a bike lane
Yeah.
instead of a separate bike path, I think that would meet our needs.
Yeah, it would. It would.
And that would bring the cost way down.
And that's what I suggested to Bill and Dan, but I'll tell them my committee
Yes.
is in favor of that, if you folks are.
I think cost is a factor this time.
Yeah, that's what I think. And I think if we scale it back and we're back down to around, I don't know, 12
10?
million or, somewhere 10 or somewhere in there, maybe we'll get it.
Okay, so scale it
But depends how
back,
competitive it is.
include the bike lane
Yeah. And maybe they have other ways of scaling it back, but I would think that the bike path
and
would
shorter,
have to be a big add.
Yeah.
because otherwise you're not getting it.
But I have to go back before the commission again, pretty early in January. I guess you won't be there.
I won't be there.
You won't be there to support us.
You can write a letter of recommendation, a letter of support.
I wonder if instead of calling out Falcon, I just call the campgrounds. Like just to do a project through the lower campgrounds, like through.
Through the crack.
Yeah, is H still open or is that?
Well, no, H is going away, but the problem is, I know that when we almost got it last time, that the Days Crack was a big safety issue to them, so they
Yeah.
liked that the project
Yeah,
would address that,
And it is.
and it is. So, but then, okay, you go through the crack, you go down, and then you're gonna go up that horrible washboard hill, and that's why, since 2015, I've been saying we need to pave it to Pinion Trail.
Yep.
But when you really think about it, people are gonna wanna turn around
Yeah.
that are just going on the pavement. So that's why it'd be better to be at Falcon, because then at least they have a parking lot to turn around in.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people now that, they turn around in C, the dirt, in C to come back down that are in like low cars and stuff and Harleys, and that's as far as they wanna go, So, so,
Do we need to make a recommendation?
well, I didn't have it as a vote, guess I should have. But you can still
you can
say a
still pass
strong
along-
vote, right, or something?
Sure.
Yeah, that our position is that we need to scale back the cost, and we think that was a factor.
Shorten it, put the bike lane.
You can let them determine what's necessary in order to do that.
Well, and it's kind of like what you said too. You don't have a name on it, it's an area down below there. And that's it.
Yeah, I know Bill probably has his own reasons for once you
Porcupine.
start the project, just kind of get it all done kind of thing.
Yeah.
But,
It could also be something, once you get through the crack, then maybe future years you can extend it.
Yeah, right. Because in a few more years, they're probably gonna want it extended up to the forest boundary. So it's okay, phase 1 is to Falcon Flow
and
parking
maybe
lot,
that's,
phase 2 is forest
maybe that's how
boundary.
you
Yeah, call
present it to.
Call it phase 1.
I like the phases because if there was more money at some point in time, it's already all established project wise. But yet it's in bite-sized chunks
Mhm.
and they're
right.
I mean, and the raise grant started several years ago, so why wasn't the NEPA from 2020, whatever, part of this? Like, they were asking where the NEPA was.
Well, NEPA hasn't been done yet. We
Oh.
just showed both years. We have a
Okay.
letter from the BLM saying we will do the NEPA
Okay,
for this project. That they're in support of doing it.
it's been done for some of the bike routes,
Oh,
In
yeah,
the
she's
area.
just talking about the road.
yeah, but in a sense,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's very, I mean, there's a whole precedent of, I mean, the BLM always does the NEPA
Yeah.
for all these projects.
Right.
So,
but I mean, there's even been NEPAs done when the trail proposals went in.
But it's separate NEPA because it's a separate proposed
Okay,
action.
all
So
right.
this proposed action, in theory, and I'm making this up,
Yeah, right.
would be to
Yeah.
resurface the road, provide a paved path,
Correct.
whatever, so that would be a whole new project. Much like a comparison, different but similar, of the paved bike path along 128, right? There's the
Oh, it was
0.7
existing.
miles.
Right, it was
We did
existing.
the NEPA in 2004, but that was so long ago, we went
Wow.
ahead and did a new environmental assessment
Okay.
for completing
Good
that
to know.
0.7 of a
Even though
mile.
it was an old road from, X.
No, this is the
Cantilever.
cantilevered off
Oh,
between Grand Staff and
Okay.
Goose
Okay.
Island.
I thought you meant.
Anyway, just saying we need to do more NEPA.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Well, should we do a vote? Is it a
I
straw
think the
vote?
straw poll is kind of, you know,
Do we do that, or we just, is this our discussion
I
of
think
enough?
I think just kind of the discussion,
Okay,
you know.
okay, I just wanna
it's-
check, is it good enough?
Yeah,
Okay,
cause it's not an action item.
okay,
And I think, you know, taking that to whoever else is drafting the next application, just kind of say we had a discussion, you know, not we had a vote or.
okay. We could have made it a vote, but
No, I
no,
mean,
it's under discussion items.
yeah, no, I can't now.
Right.
But, okay, all right, well, good. Okay, next one, Matt, please.
Dark sky.
Oh, okay, so now we'll go to our little video. You wanna watch it? The sneak preview. I don't know if you've seen this yet. Is it gonna let me do it, or do I need to do something? Wait a minute.
Fran.
One of the parties. What was last? Yeah. Might have been the one in Arch last year, that.
Oh.
Cause.
I think one of those had the what's Musk's satellites in them?
Yeah.
There's like a trade on, it's like the stars are moving and there's a trade.
Starlink,
Starlink.
Starlink.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just his little teaser of it
No, it's
being
great.
worked
It's got a lot
on.
of arches in it.
Yeah.
Starts with arches and ends
Arches
with
and state
arches.
parks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, we did have, well, you saw, two rangers from State Parks.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
saw one from NPS, you
Yeah.
saw me, and you saw Don Montoya, which just kind of came together from talking to Road Smart. Cause he says, oh, I've done, night sky programs with Don Montoya. He's an amateur amateur astronomer. And we're like, oh, so Mark said, well, I've worked with him before on other videos. So he called him up on Saturday afternoon and he's like, yeah, I'm available tomorrow. So he was able to get that perspective. So I think it's gonna be good. So, Yeah. Okay, now how come my little mouse doesn't want to go? Okay, we're back.
Okay.
Are you there, Matt?
Yeah,
Kind of.
Okay, because I know he's
Where is that living? I'm sorry.
the night sky.
Application.
The video?
The
No.
video is Sand Flats.
No, but I mean, if you wanted to show it to somebody or share it.
Oh, that's on Facebook. It's on our Facebook page
Okay.
and on Mark Finley's Facebook page. Yeah, that's where it is right now. He'll get it done before spring. So I'll have the whole 5-minute video
Okay.
up. And, okay, so really, we're just chugging along on this. I'm gonna be working with Anna, in January on finishing my part of it. And then also my, some of my staff took a class, Leave No Trace class, and then she's gonna have a more intensive class for National Park Service and us in the spring. And so I'm gonna attend, and I need to have one more of my staff attend because you have to be at a certain, have your employees have that training to get the gold standard site status. Yeah, so anyway, that'll come together all early next year. And Matt, you can go to the next one, is just the traffic counters, which you remember from before, we got those. So they're sitting in the next room. I'm gonna have, Bill Jackson's crew is gonna install them in February. I didn't want to install them in late fall because I was worried about vandalism over the winter. So I was like, let's just install them before spring starts. Spring season starts. Okay, and then, yeah, we already talked about the night sky video, and I have it on there twice, don't I? Isn't that strange? Anyway, the Fairy Shrimp video is ready to be played, and I put Walt Dabney's on our Facebook page recently. I don't know if you're aware of that public lands video that Mark Finley did with Walt Dabney. So I'm just gonna wait, maybe it'll be like a Christmas thing, I'll put the Fairy Shrimp video up on our Facebook page, but apparently Tim Graham has okayed everything and it's ready to go, and I think Discover Moab maybe posted it last week on their page.
That's, I heard Walt, that's fairly political, but it's awesome. But so Mark Finley made a
Well, it's
production of it.
history.
I don't think it's meant to be political, it's more
Right.
just the
I-
overview of public lands.
It is,
He certainly has opinions.
yeah, okay,
Have you seen it?
yeah,
you
I
saw
mean, I
it.
went to it in person.
Oh, yeah, you were
I
there.
didn't watch the video, but yeah.
Well, the video is not just like exactly what we saw that
Okay.
day, because he actually has him out at Sand Flats, he has him at Arches, so there's some outdoor
Yeah,
stuff.
no, it's excellent, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Public lands are political.
yeah,
Right.
they become,
There
you're
you
right,
go.
we're in
No,
Utah.
I know, so that's all,
Same.
I was just making that
No,
statement.
you're right, you're right. Okay, so,
And that's Walt's reason for doing it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. He's been traveling all across the
Yeah.
country doing it for a number of years now.
Yeah.
and Now it's been captured on video, so,
Yeah.
around
The
forever.
Canyonlands Natural History Association.
Oh.
Yeah, they paid for it, that's
All
right, which is great. Okay, so this picture just is the overview, and then go to the next one, please, Matt. So, Lee Palfreyman has been up there working, I guess this is his second week. Yeah. And, he's gotten a lot done. So you're looking up from like the Sand Flats Road almost, and then you have this big, nice level. It's tiered. So he left the parking that's right along the road, and then we have a big parking area, and then there's another level that's a little bit smaller parking area. So go to the next one.
Yeah, where's the turn to the campground on the left, just up far,
Oh,
or just right over there?
Before.
Okay,
yeah, it's before on the
all right,
left. Yeah,
okay.
this is, yeah.
Yeah,
You're looking at the road going up into
Yeah.
what was H. And then this is one of the holes for the shade structure that he dug.
nice.
And then for picnicking. And then the next one, Matt, is just the buried, you can barely see it, but there's the buried tank there right straight in front on the left. And so that's where one of the toilets goes. It'll have the metal surround. And then the other toilet is no longer there right now. I took these pictures Tuesday. He knocked it down yesterday. And so the other one is being built. And this shows you what they're gonna, look like. but they'll kind of be, he's like, it's gonna be like a little Telluride thing. It's gonna be a little bit higher than
That's
that.
a good looking toilet.
Yeah, but no, go back to the other slide though, Matt. I think it's gonna be nice.
Less than 50,000.
Oh, yeah, it's about,
50,000 for a single now. The
No.
concrete, not this.
no, this is costing us like less than 10,000 for the metal for both of them. And the tank was 2,500. And we're using the one tank that's there. And then we just add, he just put in the other tank. And so, and then the other thing just about this is just to tell you our toilet contract. You can stay on that one, Matt. Our toilet, I kind of did two jobs here with this one slide. So the toilet contract, I'm gonna have to put it out for bid in January, but I don't know if there's any competitors out there. When I put it out 5 years ago, there was two, but they were like in Price and Grand Junction, so they couldn't compete at all. Their numbers were so high. So hopefully, Zunic will get it again. And they have no increase for next year. So there will be a little increase though, actually, because I realized I have another toilet. So one more toilet to clean. So, but no increase per toilet cleaning or pumping. Okay, Matt, you can go to the next one. And, I wonder if we can make this big. Can you make this like fit bigger on our screen?
They're getting bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Where do you
doesn't,
want me to go?
One more. Oh, there you go.
Okay, yeah, we can slide over. Anyway, go more to the right, to the Falcon float up toward the mountains. Okay, so I can send you this picture, but we're not redoing, but updating all of our maps on all of our kiosks so that they will have the Raptor route on it now, coming out in the end of Kestrel there, exiting in Kestrel. And we're also adding the staircase wasn't on Hell's Revenge, So we're just getting everything up to date on there. So for some reason, it looks a little weird right now, but anyway, it doesn't.
he's just enlarging the screen.
Yeah,
like
okay.
Zooming the map.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway, we'll have those to the prison for the end of the year. Jason and I are close. Yeah, well, the prison makes all our signs. They do
I don't know anything about color blindness, but a question arose there on the far right. Was that
Oh.
Porcupine Rim in green?
go back over to the far
Revenge in
right.
red. I'm just wondering if anybody
Oh.
has any knowledge of that and if people can read that.
Oh, well, I can show it to Joe.
I mean, it would be great to
He
just
is
ask
green
him.
and red colorblind like my
It's
brother
pretty common.
is. He hasn't said it. Usually
And
he
it might
really,
just show up as black, I don't know, but it would be great.
I'll ask him.
Somebody.
Yeah, because these colors are pretty much like the red and, well, we have red and blue on Slick Rock. Yeah, I will check with him.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's a really good point. Color blindness.
What could you change it to?
There's
It's probably something
a
online.
website, and I don't remember what it is, that will show you what your website looks like for different types of colorblind people.
Oh,
So, I can look into that, or I guess
if you can
Google
look,
it.
if you can find it and email it to me, and then I'll send it to Jason and he can test it and we can make changes. That's an excellent idea. Thank you, Jen, and yeah.
Just asking.
No, because I know he has quite a color palette, Jason. Sometimes I'm like,
Well, for the non-colorblind, it's nice to have the color palette.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
And just contrast in general.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Google Earth image, so you have so much orange, from the
Yeah.
natural landscape, pinks and oranges and yellow. So you have to be different. Okay, and then the next one. So these are the two signs that I'm having made by the prison, because we are continuing to have such a problem with some of our trees up there. And so the sign on the left, that is only 6 inches by 10 inches. And we were actually thinking of planting them on posts in the ground next to some of those trees that are really getting hammered.
Yeah.
So there's
not
about
on
a
the
dozen
picnic
trees.
table? Why have you?
Well, we have them on the picnic tables. We've
Okay.
had them on the picnic tables for 3 years.
All right.
We haven't had them with, they say, $250 fine. But
Right.
we have had information on the picnic tables now for 3 years at least. We've had them on the Carsonites. We've had them on, they've been on their permits for years. Last year, I think we added the one about, please don't hang anything on our
Right.
trees and all that. Well, I also have another version of this small one that is 12 by 18 to replace those ones that when you go in the campsite. I did talk to Dave Haper, I'm sorry, and he was fine with us putting the fine on these. And the other problem is our group campsites with people camping in there without a reservation. And it's really, really sad when it happens because it happens when we're closed. We've gone home for the day, somebody has moved in and then, like at, I don't know, 7, and then the people that have the reservation come at like 8 and somebody's in their site, and they're like, what do we do? And so we have to start threatening them because they're just not listening.
Right, because they see it empty.
They see it
and think
empty.
No one's gonna come.
Right. And
Is there a post there that shows that it's
well, there
reserved?
is
Because I
a
found that
post,
helpful.
there is a post with a QR code to go to rec.gov to see, but
Okay.
Dave and Carrie Nelson said, put a calendar back up, which we
Which is
used to have.
ironic because our park rangers get so frustrated with the calendars, but
Right.
in all honesty, something visual there really helps. It
Yeah,
helps
so we're
both
gonna put the
parties.
calendars.
Like at
up
Onion
this
Creek, I
spring
use
as
it all
well.
the time. I'm like, oh, look, someone actually has reserved it. I guess I won't pull in.
Yeah, we're gonna put the calendars back up. We used to have the
Okay.
calendars years ago, then we switched to just having the QR code where they could just go to rec.gov. But
But if they don't have the rec.gov app, then they have to
And
download it.
before when we brought up the wood and bark collecting, I told you the California thing where at the booth, they say, show me your wood, because there's no wood or bark collecting.
oh,
So the
well,
person
I'll do it.
at the booth says, and there's a sign at the booth that says, must present wood. So even if the booth's closed or anything, there's that sign that says, you need your wood with you.
But not everybody has a fire.
No, that's not the point. The
Oh.
point is, right, but regardless that in California, you have to have wood whether or not you're gonna have a fire.
Oh, really?
Yes, to
Oh.
prove that you're not going to wood or bark collect.
Oh, that's the
Doesn't
way to do
matter
it.
if you're not gonna have a fire. That's your word
You
against
have,
theirs.
oh, so you have
You
to
have
show
to show
wood.
a small bundle of wood.
But this must be like a state park
Yeah,
law
yeah,
all over
yeah.
California,
Yeah.
so people are used to it.
Well, I'm just saying, if the sign is at the booth, it makes people think or turn around or go buy a pallet.
Well, we don't want a pallet.
No pallets.
Okay.
You mean a bundle. A bundle.
City market, but it makes them think it's more of a proactive policed thing.
Yeah,
That's part of their entrance.
I think we'd have a lot of trouble at the booth because it's such a different thing here.
And
I know, but just saying a sign there, rather than when they get in there, they're not really gonna care, they're already at their campsite. No one's around, they're
Yeah.
going to chop down a tree.
Well, we hope the fine will
No,
help.
fines don't care, just like
No?
outbound
Nobody's
skiing or anything, no one cares, cause it's,
who implements the fine?
yeah,
It'd be a law
BLM.
enforcement officer, whether it was a Grand County deputy or a BLM.
Right, right.
I'm just saying people don't worry about fines too much, like the fiery furnace, it says something like $1,000
And there's
fine.
always people in
Yeah.
there.
So I'm just saying if at the booth on your entrance, it says,
Well, we can have that same sign right in the
but
entrance.
rather than no wood or bark collecting, you say, provide your own wood. Like you make it a positive that they have to do,
Yeah,
not a no, because
well, we could have a sign
Wood
that
in
says,
town is cheaper than the fine for collecting.
it's just a human nature thing. They ignore that, but if they're told they have to bring their own wood, then they get it.
Then you can have a little cage where you're selling bundles of wood.
So in all honesty, this is a business opportunity that I dreamed up.
I know, there's this thing.
A dispenser that does not require a human to be on site.
Do you
A
have those?
firewood bundle dispenser, no, it's a dream.
Oh,
Oh,
I
right,
need
but-
somebody to make it happen.
Or
And so
even,
what we've done, which requires a camp host, is we have these they're repurposed, upcycled little trailers. They were recycled trailers that now have wood in them. We've used them at Horse Thief. But you need a camp host because we've experimented with leaving them without a lock on them and people just take it.
well, you might remember when I first started working at Sand Flats, I think it'd been
Same
carried over
thing.
from AmeriCorps.
Yeah.
There was wood right there by the booth, or in the 10-minute parking, and it said $1 or
Yeah,
something, and
something
people would
to
just
just
take
One of
it.
those like giant claw games, like instead of stuffed animal.
oh, but I'm just saying, human nature wise, doing that at the booth or in the parking lot is better than having your trees cut down. Because no matter what, you have a threatening sign, people are gonna ignore that, especially
Well,
with
and
the
I also
kids.
think it should be 5, not 250, but 500.
There's no control over that. That's a collateral bail schedule.
Yeah, we're stuck with.
Yeah.
But
It'd be nice.
I'm all good for the campsite because that's a enforceable thing where you come in and say, hey, you broke the thing.
I'm fine
But I'm
with
just saying with wood and families and kids, if they're like, oh, right, we gotta have our wood ahead of time.
Well, we're not gonna have time to stop them, check their vehicles and
No,
make sure they have
No,
wood
it's
and turn
just
them
a
around.
sign or you remind them.
Oh,
And then maybe they'll go into town and, get it at City Market when they're shopping for groceries later. Rather than 9:00 at night, the kids want a fire,
yeah.
they don't have
Kill the
any,
tree.
and the branch.
Mhm.
Because no one's around.
You know what
The vast majority of, what percentage of people show up after hours as
A lot.
opposed to
Depends on
during?
the day of the week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A lot
A
will show
lot.
up on.
a lot show up
Yeah.
after
Well, if we're
hours.
not full, like lots of times in the season, we will be full
Right,
before, like at 4:00 or something. So then we've talked to
Yeah.
everybody.
so does somebody just say, kind of after they paid and so forth, wood is available in town, there's no collection?
We could start saying that.
Well, that would
We
be-
just give them the
say
permit and say,
orders.
you're responsible for everything on this.
And they
Yeah,
never read the
and,
back of the
it's kinda
permit,
like
and the
reading
kids
your-
aren't reading the
your
back of the permit.
CVS receipt, which is this long,
Yeah.
to see if everything is right. It's like, no, don't read that, I crumple it up. stick
Well, they can't crumple it up because it has to hang.
Well,
It's
right,
facing them as they're
It's in
driving, as they're
fine
sitting
print,
there, they
yeah.
see it, but it is a little small.
but
Yeah.
you shouldn't insist that they read it while they're driving.
No. You know what I do with the day passes, when they come up and they've rented the UTVs? We'll say, okay, how about, I'll say to one of the kids, can you read that to your dad while he's driving, so he knows all the rules before you get to the trail? And I'm like, oh, and then they'll start reading it.
There you go.
Good
So have the same thing
Yeah,
about
that's-
wood, and even if you have a thing like you must have your own wood, no collecting. Even if you don't, it's okay, it's like puts it in their mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So then, but it's just stating it.
right.
And I just know that in my mentality, I ignore the whole fine thing. Like, that's not gonna stop you from doing it. Well, I think that's human nature. No one's coming around.
I stop when I see a fine. But everybody's different.
I think it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can keep
Okay.
brainstorming.
and you're gonna,
And
I'm
I
just
think
saying-
no wood or bark collecting, you're gonna nail those to the trees that are.
Yeah, putting about little posts in front of about
Yeah.
a dozen trees that are just.
So I'm just saying, you're trying to help the people ahead of time. So if, when they're doing their online reservation, it says, please bring wood,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
wood
it does
collecting.
say that.
Okay, all right. Yep.
I will say the highliners up at the GGBY event over the years have laminated little sheets with a picture of the Lorax, so they're probably breaking trademark violation issues with
That's
Yeah.
after
awesome.
suits, but
They're
literally
trying.
they're trying and they hang them on the tree, not nail them into it.
Well, first I said, hang on, like, wait a minute, we have other signs that say do not hang, tie or
Right.
hang. I said, I can't hang it on the tree. I'm gonna put it in the ground.
No, see, that's a cute thing. We talked about before in the bathrooms and I was all for it. And we shot down that idea of Pimo doing the art. But I was
Well-
saying art in the bathrooms is
No, we're
a
still,
much
that's not
better
forgotten about.
message rather than these no things and you just
Well,
ignore
I'd like to
them.
do the art in the bathroom too.
Right,
just
where it's
haven't-
like save the trees.
Seemed
or
like some people weren't happy
your
with the style.
actions hurt. Cause,
Please don't strip off my bark.
yeah. Even dead wood matters. See, I love
You're
dead
great, you've
wood.
got great,
Well, no, because people think, oh, it's dead,
Right.
it doesn't matter, but insects live in it, it's part of the biosystem. But a lot of people don't have that education.
yeah, well, the bathrooms are not off the table, they've been pushed to the back burner because
Okay.
it seemed like
All right,
the group didn't really like that style.
okay, I had my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Just trying. Good job on the sign.
No, you've been up about to a nickel, man.
Okay, all right.
Hold on a minute.
Next one, Matt. I think CNHA is gonna buy our book. I think we're very close. I've been waiting since February. When I talked to them last month, it sounds like they're gonna buy some from us. So I'm gonna print 100. And Back of Beyond definitely wants them. They take 30 to 60 of them from us a year. So, but I really have been trying. We tried a long time ago when they first came out. Sonia tried to have CNHA carry them, and they said, "Oh, we've got too many plan guides right now." But I thought I would try this year, but I didn't expect the process to take so long. You know, when I went them in February, oh, they'll tell me in a month, and I'll have them for spring. And I thought I'd have them for fall, but looks like we'll have them for next spring. So, but that'll be a bigger reach. So that would be great. We'll do our Emery contract for the videos to be on TV, but Maddie's department doesn't have them. That budget has been cut, so she doesn't have TRT money to pay for that, she said last week. I met with Travel Council and I met with Mick. He said they're interested, but it's kind of part of a bigger thing. So I'm not sure if they're gonna pay for any, but we have a budget to have 3 of them on there. So last year, we're separate contracts anyway.
Mhm.
But I'll keep trying to see what I can do to get them.
Have you talked with Ben at the?
I didn't talk to Ben yet, I talked to Mick.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Ben. I guess I met with him because, why did I meet with him? I guess because I was following up on something else when they came up and did a tour with us, so. But I can talk to Ben too, because he's the main one.
Yeah, I think he might be picking up some of the establish and promote stuff that Maddie was doing before, so.
Well, and Travel Council used to pay for these, like Elaine paid for them in the beginning.
Yeah,
And then I thought they were running, after they've been on for like 2 years, 1 or 2 years. And then all of a sudden I found out, oh, they haven't been running this year.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, she's like, I didn't have money for it. So then I started
yeah.
paying, for some of them to run.
And I don't know how much of that history Ben's dialed in on, so.
Yeah, I
it
should
wouldn't
tell him
hurt if
that,
he's
yeah.
gonna be like, hey, this is film in. I'm sure he'd be supportive of it. He's got the budget to
Okay,
do things like that.
yeah, because Mick looked at them and he said, well, I think that there should be some kind of an advertising component, like in the beginning of it. And if you look at the biking one is like, I think fits right into like pushing Moab. But some of the others that are more science, so he's thinking of like a little intro that kind of, I don't know, fits into their marketing scheme, I guess. But maybe Ben doesn't look that way as much. Because we had, there was like 8 of them on there right now. And right now there'll only be 3 if they don't pay for any.
Yeah,
So, and I wanted to even add the night sky one, so anyway, I'll keep.
but that's just in town, right? Or does it play?
Now plays at Price
Yeah,
and
okay.
Green River
Yeah.
and the hotel rooms up there. And I think Monticello even.
Yeah, so if it's playing in other counties, that'll help too.
That's what Nick said, yeah. It's showing that they're not here, they're
Yeah,
coming here or could come here. So, okay, what's the next one, Matt? Oh, am I done? I guess I'm done.
BLM updates.
Time for BLM updates.
Or Grand County.
gonna fight for it.
You don't have to tell us everything.
No, I'm just trying to think what's
or whatever.
relevant. I mean, obviously the e-bike scoping is a big deal. Working through it, the tight budget reality is an incredibly challenging and real deal that we're learning to work through. And I'm guessing, the upcoming change in the administration may have some pendulum swing here, there, elsewhere that we can't necessarily anticipate specifics on. So we're just staying flexible. You may have seen, I'm trying to think if it went on Facebook yet, but this weekend, not necessarily Sam Platte specific, but motorized and non-motorized partnerships over on Cliffhanger. The installation of the new cattle guard that's bomber enough for motorcycles as well as mountain bikes, and the gate and the associated fencing. It's been about a year in the making, and so we're so grateful to everybody for coming together and actually making that happen.
Yeah, Cliff sent those. I went to the motorized trail committee meeting
Yeah.
today, but he sent the photos in the email yesterday or the day before, so
Good,
that's cool.
good projects, and I think one thing we'd really like to focus on, and I know Sam Flats is not just motorized, but I think Greene County and BLM in general are getting sort of negative feedback and whatnot. Labyrinth Gemini,
Oh, yeah.
just motorized is just as good as any other recreational opportunity here. So showing that we do work together as partners and we do further motorized recreation opportunities is important for everybody. So I'll share that. What do we have going on? We're just plowing ahead. There really is no downtime anymore.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah. Any questions? Specific questions?
Have you looked at year-end numbers around campgrounds and stuff?
Oh,
We're
yes.
a little down. Bill Stevens great question. Bill Stevens is working on, you may have seen these Park Service press release informations about economic benefits to local communities. And so we asked Bill to take his economic hat and provide us something comparable, similar for the BLM Wildfield office.
Oh, that'd be great.
And he's getting close to completing that. I think tomorrow we'll see a draft on it, and we'll certainly share that with you. I think that kind of information is really helpful with grant proposals.
And he
Yeah.
did update mine as part of for the business plan, I think. Yeah, he updated.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, moving target for sure, and being lockstep with Greene County, I think, is essential for many, many different reasons. Not Sam Flat specific, but just overview. Huge appreciation to Greene County, Maddie in particular, Maddie and Tyson, through the Outdoor Recreation and Infrastructure Grant. Greene County was awarded an additional $1.2 million for the Mud Springs Trail System in
Yep.
San Juan County. So this is really precedent setting, and I'm hopeful, as I continue to be for quite some time, that we will continue to pull San Juan County along and understand the value of trails. Non-motorized, motorized, e-bikes, the whole bit. So that's really exciting. I think we're going to be seeing some on-the-ground work next year, 2025. It's been a really long time coming, and just a reminder that that was actually a decision in the 2008 Resource Management Plan. So.
Oh, Mud Springs was?
Yeah, it was called the Upper Spanish Valley Mountain Bike Focus Area.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's been a long time coming, but geologic time is still time.
It was specifically a mountain bike focus area, and yet backcountry horsemen keep pushing that they want access to the trails. It's like, go ahead, but why would you want to go into a mountain bike focus area?
Sure.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other big ticket item is the paved pathway, the 0.7 miles gap, $12.5 million has been awarded to Utah Department of Transportation in partnership with Grand and Greene County and BLM. The contract was awarded 2 weeks ago, I believe. I haven't seen a press release on it, but I was on the review committee with UDOT, and they're thinking within 2 years. That'll be complete. Kind of like you said, with the cost estimates now versus when construction goes, I'm afraid $12.5 million is not gonna be what we need, and that it may be more like 15+ million. So just, I've already put it out there to the outdoor recreation and infrastructure folks of like, I may be coming asking for some more funding, but really excited to hopefully see that project come to fruition. That
So
one's
that
also been a
grant
long
came
time
from-
coming.
That application came from the BLM to them or from the county to them?
It was BLM. This
Okay.
one was BLM, but we're super excited with the partnership of Greene County and Utah Department of Transportation that all work together to initially create the paved pathway network. The money's gonna go right to UDOT, and that way they can do all the contracting and all
Oh.
the UDOT specs and whatnot, so.
So UDOT will do the contract.
Really exciting on that. And
How many miles is it?
I was
2
just
miles?
0.7 of a mile.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that short?
More than a
0.7.
million
It's actually
dollar
like
mile.
6.67, so
It's more
0.7.
than
I would-
a $13 million mile.
I was gonna ask if the river shows up on that map you were showing for the kiosks.
I think a little part of it.
I wonder,
Yeah, it shows down at the river where Porcupine comes out.
I wonder if it's worth.
Oh.
Which kiosk?
She's,
Matt, go
they're
back to
redoing all the
the,
maps
can you go
on all
back
the
to the,
kiosks.
Oh,
And I
kiosk
wonder if
map?
it'd be worth including that there's half at the bottom of Porcupine.
Matt, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here, hold on.
Okay, thanks.
Have those gone to the prison yet?
No. All of our signs go
You
to
can just call
them.
them UCI,
Yeah, I'll just. say
Utah
UCI.
Correctional Industries.
But you know, when they answer the phone, they say, inmate Jones.
We
No,
all
go,
need jobs.
The kiosk
no, go to our
maps.
kiosk map, Matt.
Oh, the kiosk map. Oh, you
Yeah,
want the
we-
real map. Ah.
He's like, this is the path.
Aw, he was going, no, just go to my map. Jason's map.
There.
Yeah, zoom in.
Well, there's.
Yeah, there's the river. He has
Does it
the,
show, zoom in.
Yeah, I don't
and
know if
see
the
you can see a path.
detail.
shows the
Yeah.
purple.
It's a,
It
it's a
show-
highway.
It shows grand staff, it shows parking for grand staff.
Yeah,
See, it's got a
that's where the
P.
Porcupine Rim comes down.
Yeah,
I don't know who designs the maps. Is it Jason that does it all? I wonder if it's worth
Well, what's the yellow?
the trail. It's the whole highway.
Oh.
yeah,
But if
yellow's
it-
the
If
highway.
it shows the
Doesn't
lines,
show the path, does
does it
it?
show Lions Park? Does it go over to Lions Park, Matt, or is that the edge of it there?
Scroll over.
Yeah,
might be-
Lions Park Hub is
Oh,
there.
yeah, parking,
Yeah, it might be worth,
putting the path in.
or like
Putting the path
having
in.
at least the wording, even if it's not a line, that says whatever they call the trail hub and.
Little 7 gap.
Yeah.
Now he'll fill,
Well-
I guess he should.
Yeah, I mean,
don't know. What
the
should we
gap
do?
is just this.
Yeah.
But now there's a paved path
Right.
this whole way, so.
You just have to add a
Price.
line.
Yeah, with, and then in the legend.
Do we, have people been hit?
No.
Not that we have
It's amazing.
through Greene County or UDOT information, and fascinatingly enough, there are definitely known accidents that have no reports for things
Yeah.
like plowing over signs and whatnot. So I think there's a lot of activity that goes on without being reported.
Yeah.
But I literally have seen, you name it, out there on that paved path, including a motorized wheelchair, rollerblades, strollers, dogs, e-bikes, pedestrians, the whole bit. And it
gets
goes
great
right,
use.
it goes right in line with, the governor's All Trails Connected piece. And so, so super excited about that.
That is exciting.
I don't want to take much more time, but I will say the we're calling it the Moab Guide Summit
Yeah,
for 2025 will be on March 13th, and that's with huge support from not only our Greene County partners of many different fashions,
What
town
was the
ambassadors, it's the 13th, but also Canyonlands Natural History Association,
yeah, I'm one of the people
Yep.
involved in
Yeah.
putting it together.
but for the Stewardship Committee.
Yeah, I know, that's
in general.
glad you're mentioning it, because I haven't told them that.
And one of the focus points will be the keynote speakers are Dovetail Trail Consulting, Quinn Brett and Joe Stone. We're really excited to have them through the financial support of CNHA, and there will be a presentation in the evening at the Moab Information Center as well as a field day the following day. So again, continuing to expand our interest and focus on universal accessibility to the best of our opportunities, and therefore also looking for funding sources of the much larger variety. CNHA also funded what we're gonna call review and assessment of the Goose Island campground and connectivity to the paved pathway, which of course we know goes all the way up to 313, and the Horse Thief campground, campsites, and associated dirt natural surface trails that Dovetail will be performing for us. So very cool stuff there. There's
Very
all
cool.
sorts of other things, but I will spare you the details unless you have questions.
Yeah, one of the speakers is, oh gosh, he's from Bluff. And I'm spacing on his name. He has that Native Waves.
Yep.
Yeah, I helped get him.
Great.
And Tim Graham will be the other speaker.
Yep.
And then,
Lots of great
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah, I was
And
tasked.
you all
to
are
contact.
welcome
Yeah,
to come
go.
in any capacity.
Grant.
March 15th.
It's gonna be at the Grand Center
I
this year.
don't think the date, I don't think the
It
date's
is-
right, because
yeah.
the 13th
I
is a
had it as the
Thursday.
13th. No,
That's
it's a
what it is.
Saturday, 2025. I just checked my phone.
Oh, you did? I'm looking at my phone.
Maybe you're in the wrong year. Oh,
March
maybe
2025.
I'm in the wrong year. Oh.
Okay, I'm sorry, while you're looking, I'm gonna share
Oh,
one more
You're right.
Yeah, go
little
ahead.
exciting bit
But I
about
did put the
information
13th as the
available
summer.
for the public as
From
well as
another
recreating public. This has been a long
So
time
that's
coming,
weird.
but in partnership
it's on
with
the
Utah
weekend.
Department of Transportation, there is now an information sign out at the rock imagery panel, commonly known as Intestine Man on 313. You may remember a few years ago, UDOT paved or asphalted an additional little pullout for safety and for preservation of
It's
the
a
road
Thursday.
surface. There's now an
From
informational
Saturday.
kiosk there. And then there's a brand new one
That
you may
was
have
from
seen in
another
the
meeting.
TI at the Skyway, which we were really excited about for the whole Skyway history of Emmett Mays and his family. And it was really fascinating that Emmett Mays, his, son's, the cousin of Emmett Mays' son Van, was actually involved in building of that whole facility back in the day. And then he works for the solid waste district. He was one of the dump truck drivers that was helping to decommission
Yeah, I guess we're
and
having
haul away all the
Thursday.
material from the site. So it was really great to have
Sorry.
Emmett Mays' son Van and this cousin down there for the ribbon cutting of the sign, and that's also in partnership with CNHA, but little local history that we didn't lose,
Yeah, great.
Okay,
which is exciting. Oh, and then Sago Canyon, finally, after 6 years, there are informational signs in place at Sago Canyon,
Well, that's nice.
which some people call Thompson Canyon, but the area that has rock imagery and a toilet and tables.
It just, technically, it's not saying.
I understand.
So the Emmett Mays story is there where the tram used to go up, or the,
It is, yeah, it's a day use site, much like the Colorado River day use site.
nice.
And lots of other things happening, but I can't thank you enough for everything that happens at Sand Flats. I actually was up there hiking on Sunday and it was nice and quiet and beautiful.
Yeah, it's so pretty up there. Thank you.
Thank you.
I forgot to mention, I did an article for the Cheap Safari magazine,
Oh, good.
Good.
general one in Sand Flats, so, because Teresa asked me if I would write something this year, so it's just 400 words. That's all she wanted.
That reminds me, I wonder if you would consider, and we can talk about this further, doing a brown bag lunch presentation on the history and general management of the Sand Flats Recreation Area,
Oh, one of those for your,
just for our office. I mean, it's open to the public, but we're looking to try and bring back brown bag lunch opportunities. And there are so many new employees on our resource specialist side that don't understand and have no context for the history. And so Dave Howells and I were kind of plotting and scheming and wondering if maybe we could do, I don't know, it might even be like an hour and a half lunch where we
you could show them the Cigar Bike Trail.
exactly,
I mean,
we bring,
50
we have a
years of
little
Cigar.
like, maybe we do a little sit down session first. I don't know, we can brainstorm
Oh,
about it,
yeah,
but
that'd
I
be
think it'd
fun.
be really beneficial for everybody.
yeah,
And
that'd be
I will
fun.
stop
I'm
talking.
happy to do it. Oh, We'll see when we keep talking, we think of more things, so that's good. Okay, Evan?
I'll
Anything?
piggyback on yours a little. I don't know how, I got a late invitation, so I don't know how widespread this was, but there was actually a service day in Medieval Chamber.
Yes,
So
thank you.
canyoneers went in through sand flats and did a bunch of graffiti cleanup and stuff and then jugged back out. So I didn't attend, but
Yeah, I
That
remember
was-
that day, because I was in the booth and
And we
we
apologize
didn't
for
know
not
about it.
notifying you first.
So,
Again, new employees, connections, partnerships, relationships, we need to keep building them.
yeah, and so I was like, they're like, oh, we're here for the volunteer day. I was like,
That's right, thank you, Evan, for bringing that up. Yeah.
I was like,
sorry, I
where?
didn't mean to throw anybody
No,
under the bus.
No, we
I was
already
like,
have a
where?
conversation, but thank you, because that's directly Sandflats related, and it was permittees, right? And a great opportunity.
Yeah, they had
for-
come up, and then but of course I waved them through, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I started texting Carrie and I found out. I'm like, okay, it'd be nice. I guess it was Erin. I was like, oh, it'd be nice if we knew this ahead of time, please. Yeah, I told her when she came to the booth, I was like, we should really know ahead of time this is happening.
Yep.
She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even think of that. I'm like, well.
Thank you for the on-the-job training opportunity.
And then I was looking over Molly's shoulder and I saw the Loop Road posting. And those guys have kind of been all over the place, but I just got a notification they're
They're done.
closed till, or done working till mid to late February.
Yeah, I got
So-
that too.
But on Facebook, it says December 18th.
Last week it
Okay.
was
Oh.
they were gonna keep working the whole time, and then this week it was something else.
So it's not December 18th, or it's now.
I think it was the 12th, was the
Okay.
most recent.
All right, just last night I was looking up.
Yep, and
I got an email from, yeah.
Oh, good.
so I don't know how many folks are using
It's already
sand
the
flats
12th.
as an alternative to get into the mountains, but
It was just on Utah Abbey,
yeah.
like to take Sand Flats or Castle Valley.
We didn't see like a whole bunch,
Yeah,
but, because it's just such a long way. I think most of them went through Castle Valley.
I think time-wise, it's actually faster to stick to the pavement.
Yeah.
So officially it's open now?
So like, I read the posting, I didn't have it off the,
Okay,
but it's yes, it's officially open through the holidays
okay,
till like,
Yeah, December
mid to late.
11th.
all right.
Does it say when it recloses? They start up in February sometime again.
Work for the season is finishing today, Wednesday, December 11th. Crews will return to work in mid-February, 2025. There's gonna be like surveyors up there, they say, watch for surveyors, but there will be no flaggers or anybody stopping you.
Great,
That's what I read.
Yeah, so get up and ski while you still can.
yeah.
In terms of the commission, it's just kind of budget season. It hasn't fully been finalized. There's some kind of battling over Maddie's department, but I think that that's gonna stay funded at the same level. It's just a matter of from where. There might be a slight decrease, but it's all from Maddie's suggestions, so.
So Maddie suggested not paying for the videos, I guess. She didn't tell me that, but
Well,
maybe that was the case though.
there was, she had kind of put out a couple scenarios and the commission agreed that the priority of keeping the staffing level made sense.
Yeah.
And so if we were gonna keep the people, it was like, what else?
Yeah, and travel council used to pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't used to pay for it either.
Yeah.
Travel council used to pay for it.
And I mean, not to get too into the weeds, but I think that the message that was coming down from upstate hadn't really dug into all the things that go on in the office. I think when they see trail ambassador, they're imagining picking up trash and stuff, which they actually don't do. And I don't think all the social media stuff really kind of
Well, they do a
That they
little.
do.
They're supposed to.
made it up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Well, it was really interesting. I forget the date, but Maddie, Kelton, and Anna and I headed up to Green River for that Utah Office of Tourism session. so much of what they were talking about wanting and local community connectivity was what is happening here, and folks tried to share that with them.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, it's a big system, right? And it seems like the left hand isn't talking to the right hand.
But there's some great stuff going on here that could be extrapolated to other counties and communities rather than just disappearing.
And I got on their email, they didn't have me in the tourism thing, so I didn't know about that till after they went.
I don't know
And I'm on their
how the
tourism
list
email
came to
now.
be. I don't think I am, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
Cause Maggie told me, I'm like, oh, I would like to have known about that. And then she's like, well, they contacted us. I said, well, so I contacted them and said, hey, I'd like to be on your email list. So I'm on there now, so.
I don't know, I think we all should be very proud of what goes on here, and it would be great if that was recognized. I mean, I think it is to some degree, but it's telling the story.
Yeah.
And just one other piece about the new year is usually like about mid-January. There's kind of some arm wrestling over the assignments and which boards we serve on and stuff. So if there's anybody particular that you would like to take my place, I could either reach out to them, or if you want to reach out to anybody, reach out to folks. And it's just kind of like typically there's one meeting and we have a long list of all the boards and committees that need representatives. And it's just kind of horse trading. And somebody will be like, I'll do that.
Do you know if Jock wants to do it?
When he first got elected, he had expressed interest, and I gave him trail mix, but kept this. And so he may still be interested. And I have a feeling, my gut says he won't be the chair again next year. And so he might have a little more bandwidth. And so he would probably be a great option.
He certainly knows the trails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's the top one I could think of, but who would be next, do you think?
I mean,
that has expressed any interest that you're aware of?
no one's kind of expressed interest to me directly.
Okay.
I know that I don't know if Navtech that Brian manages, if they have permits up there. Not that that's a deciding factor, but I mean,
We don't really.
you don't see a lot of them. I think,
Yeah.
I think a lot of their stuff is more park centric and river centric. But
not like the others,
I mean, he might. So, and then there's all kinds of people with budget expertise and whatever. So if there's a strength or a quality characteristic that you're looking for, that might be a way. But I think anybody's capable and good.
Brian would understand the customer base.
Yeah.
The people that come here are the type of people he interacts with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And I know Jacques spends a lot of time up there, and I'm not trying to sway you to just ask who else,
Yeah. So they go and have this horse trading thing.
Yeah. So there'll be 2 new folks who have 0 assignments, and then there'll be a bunch of vacancies from 2 people leaving. And so some folks might be disinterested in things that they have been serving on, and other folks might be eager to pick up some of these. So it's probably not the first meeting of the year, probably the second or even the third. And so if you want to do any lobbying or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I've never like lobbied for them before, so.
No, it wouldn't be lobbying, it'd be, he could mention to someone.
Yeah,
Hey,
or
no.
if you see somebody at the grocery store.
They could be like,
You know.
raise your hand on
How are you?
SINFA.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's an opportunity to weigh in.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna miss you.
You see the way I just kind of teed that up to lob it out there?
All your spare time. What? No, I haven't
Try to
cheated
make
enough.
the phone ring more.
Yeah, wow, yeah, what are you gonna do in your spare time? Do you have spare time? You're so busy with you.
The most exciting thing is I'm going to be ski guiding in Japan. So I get to get out of town for a
Did you
big
do that
chunk.
before?
You
I
did something
did a
last
short
year.
one, and so this time I'm going for a month. So
Whereabouts?
in Hokkaido,
Oh.
it's like the second largest island.
Yeah.
And a little further north, snow's more reliable, it's colder, so I'll be there till mid-February.
Awesome.
Your family going with you?
You know, going to work.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. Are we done? Did
We're
we,
done. I
did we
guess
turn
we're
it
done.
off?
Matt, I guess we can adjourn. There's no further discussion. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Matt.